what I get upset about in the space is the funds that do exist to support, Black, brown, underserved founders always feel like charity. And to me, that's never really resonated with me as a person. Like, I don't want you to invest with me because I hit a checkbox.
Right.
I want you to invest with me because you actually believe in what I'm building.
I think it's very impressive that as a Latino, you're venture capital funded through Even.
Yeah.
And the most interesting part about that is that there's only 2% of Latinos that get venture funded.
Yep.
But there's a 20% population of Latinos in the US.
Yep.
How were you able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, man, I got to go and check on this 2%, man, because I think it's smaller than the 2%. But
it could, to be honest with you. I'll double check it as well. But
I think the numbers I think it's 2%.
It might be black and brown.
Black and brown Latino.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's
even less for women in that space as well.
Man, it's tough, mostly because I honestly, the number itself doesn't surprise me, right? Like most things don't, I think, like it's, there's always the idea of like, man, this is messed up. But then there's also like, I'm not surprised, like
right.
We also know the world that we're entering every single time. And I think, what I get upset about in the space is the funds that do exist to support, Black, brown, underserved founders always feel like charity. And to me, that's never really resonated with me as a person. Like, I don't want you to invest with me because I hit a checkbox.
Right.
I want you to invest with me because you actually believe in what I'm building. And not to say that there isn't investors that invest just because both things can be true.
100%.
But as far as like for me and how I got here, like I also understand my privilege in how I even got here. Yeah. So much luck. There was so much luck that got here. Like to get to this stage, I didn't go to college, barely graduated high school. I was a manager and I, was raised by 2 undocumented immigrants from Mexico. And, a lot of things had to go right for me to even be in this stage or like in this position. And it's not anything I take for granted, So even in my worst days, like the days that I, where everything feels like it's going wrong, I always remind myself, I'm like, on paper, I wasn't even supposed to be here. So like, we already made it this far. Like, we'll figure it out. But I always credit it to a couple of things that I think did go right. And definitely always starts with my parents and the way that they like raised me to like, especially, I mean, you come from immigrant parents who like, there's something in our DNA that's just 100%. Different.
Yeah. I think for us, it's more like you just see the hard work. Not to say that there isn't hardworking people who are here, but also a lot of like was ingrained in me when I was younger is like, I was always hear like, we came here for you.
Yeah.
And you kind of don't know what that means until you get older. And then you're like, at one point it just hit me. It's like, okay, I get it. Yeah. I understand now what that meant. And my dad was like, he went through several jobs to be honest with you, but like he was a hardworking man. Like always put food on the table, roof over our head. My mom too, like hard work. She took care of me for a long time, but like I got to see, but then she was like a housekeeper, like cleaning toilets.
Yeah.
Like real shit. And that's what I saw. Like,
I mean, my mom, you speak about house. My mom has her own cleaning business, right?
Right.
To this day, she like, I do come from entrepreneurial.
Latino's like a clean home.
Man, for real. But I'd come from entrepreneurial mindset. Like my parents have always very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
And they figured it out later in life, which I love. Like my mom started her cleaning business 10 years ago. And now it's really successful back in Milwaukee. My dad actually just like started a new career path a year ago. Decided he wanted to start a trucking business, logistics, and like he has like a couple box trucks. But it's like seeing him go through that journey in his like late 50s is crazy. And
it is because like a lot of Latinos as well have this like may I?
Yeah.
Can we please be led into this party, to this situation, right? It's like, it's very like, don't rock the boat.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that. My parents were like that in many ways, you know, and so it's amazing to see. Like when you talk about luck, that is luck that you were born in a household where you got to see the entrepreneurial spirit. I want to take a quick break in the pod right now and talk to you guys about something I think could be of importance to you. If you're listening to this pod and thinking, I could really use some personal guidance right now, and you're serious about building your career in the music business, I'm now offering one-on-one private strategy sessions. These are fully personalized, just you and me tackling whatever you need in your music career. Listen, this is the part where you might be thinking to yourself, who the heck is this guy? Well, I got over 17 years of experience in the music business, whether it was working as a manager with artists like Jesse Reyes, or working with major record labels like Island, Republic, Universal Music Group, or Sony, or producing content for high-profile artists like The Weeknd and Eminem, to producing content for elite brands like the NBA and Nike. I can definitely and confidently say I can help you map out your next moves. Whether you want to talk about structuring your team, navigating the industry, scaling your brand, or just simply learning how to make money in this music business, whatever's most relevant to where you're at, let's talk. You can now book for a fee a one-on-one session with me, an artist manager and a podcast host, to help you figure out your next steps. Find the link in the description below to book a one-on-one consultation session. Also, big shout out to those who watch this podcast. Bringing value to an audience who seeks it is a blessing. I can't thank you enough for tuning in. I appreciate you. Now let's get back to the pod. I saw it as well too. You know, my mom has this gift of gab. Like, she's incredible at talking to people. She's great at sales, right? So I seen that, but my mom doesn't even know that that's being an entrepreneur. We're fortunate to actually kind of understand that. So I hear what you're saying there.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up, again, like my parents, they taught me how to ask for help because that was their thing.
Okay, sick.
They were, you know, they always taught me, like, go out and if you need help with anything, just ask somebody.
Hell yeah.
Yes. I grew up, like, we would go on road trips and we would get lost. Yeah. And, like, we would pull over to, like, a little, like, mom and pop shop in, like, middle of America. And my parents with thick accents would go and, like, befriend these people that were probably clearly very racist, but they, like, say, I grew up hearing people tell my parents, like, you know, I've never met people like you guys before. I like you guys, you know, and like I heard that ingrained. And I think initially as a kid, I started growing a little resentment towards it.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think growing up with that, and then I think about where I'm at now, I think the next big thing was when I decided to not go to college was like a big moment where on one side, I had a sister who was about to become a doctor. Like, so my older sister, she's a year older. She graduated from Harvard. Wow. And she's an ER doctor. So like on one side I have that, which is like the gold standard in a Mexican household is like Dr. Harvard. You don't get better than that.
Yeah.
And then on the other side, they have their son, you know, it's like, I'm going to be a manager and work in the music industry. And they're you know, there was kind of like a moment like, all right, well, we got one. We'll figure it out. You know? And,
we could depend on her. I don't know about him, but I guess.
Yeah, but, you know, even through that, my parents were very supportive. They were awesome. Like, you know, there was a lot of moments where it was like we were just figuring it out. And it was my pops driving us down to South by. And, you know, our first like tour, our first tour was with Absol. And it was my... the artist's dad, who also had a very supportive dad. Like they took 50% of the tour was his dad, and then 50% of the tour was my dad. And they were just driving us around. So there was a lot of that. And then when I started working, the venture fund was just something that just kind of like, I had just gotten fired from being a manager. So this is end of 2017, the artist that I was, Ishtar, who I was working with, basically just fired me. He was just like, I don't want to make music anymore. So like, I don't have a use for you right now. Like, you're still my guy, but like, I'll hit you if I want to make music again.
Gotcha.
And I remember my life just came crashing down.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, like all I knew how to be was a manager. Right. And I'm like, man, what am I going to do now?
Right.
And luckily I had a little money saved up. We've done fairly well. I had 2 recording studios at the time in Milwaukee. And I was just like, I think I crashed out a bit and started just giving away all my resources. Like, just like started hosting little like workshops and webinars of like, you know, how we were doing everything we were doing because we were fully independent. And I was doing it in Milwaukee, and during that time, that's when I got connected to the Generator folks, and I met Joe and Troy, and they're the founders of Generator, and had a couple meetings with them, and they just took a shot at me, and they're just like, "Yo, we're down."
That's dope.
They're like, "Do you want to come and work over here and build this program?" And I remember the first thing Joe said to me was like, "Your resume is the first resume I've seen where there's a curse word in it," because I listed all my credits, and one of the songs was "For the Fuck of It." And it was like a song that did really well in streaming. It's like, it's the first resume I've seen that had a curse in it, and I was like, "Look, man," and yeah, honestly, they taught me a lot. They've gave me so many to this day. Like anytime I have a question, they're investors in Even now.
Yeah.
They were my first investors, and they've invested in Even every step of the way, and they introduced me to venture capital. All of my investors, up until maybe a year and a half ago, were all people they introduced me to. And
oh, wow.
They walked me through the door. Mag's a good guy, and the thing with venture is like, if people were investing in ideas, this industry would be different. But people don't invest in ideas; they invest in people.
Mm-hmm.
All of my investors invest in me.
All of venture.
In all of venture.
Yeah.
Very rarely is it ideas.
Yeah.
Ideas are worthless in this industry. It's all based on who the person is, who's the person building the product, what have they done in the past, what their network looks like, because you're basically betting on someone being able to build a real business.
Yes.
And the fail rate in this is like extremely high in
venture,
in just startups,
which is similar to the artist business,
the
music business.
It's
are you learning a specific language to communicate with venture capitalists?
Every day I'm learning something new. Like, what's crazy? I had never heard of the term unit economics until maybe a year ago.
Yeah.
And it was just now it's my favorite word, unit economics. And it's
what is unit economics?
Unit economics is like when you break down the math of a business and how it makes money from everything from like the cost to acquire a customer is part of the unit economics. My margin on every transaction is a part of my unit economics. And it's basically the integral parts of what shows what a business can look like at scale. So if at 10,000 artists, our economics are X, Y, and Z. Once we have 2 million artists, what does that look like? And then you minus 50% just for, to be conservative.
Right.
And that can really paint the picture of what a business looks like. Now, 3 years ago when we started building Even, we didn't have to rely on unit economics. It was just like, how big can this be in the future? But now that we have traction, we have to really paint out, what are the actual economics of this business?
Yes.
And what will it look like at scale? And the thing too is, like I was telling you before we kicked off, like 99.9% of the company is Black and brown. And these are also incredible people that I'm betting on now that also have never been involved at a startup at this level.
Yeah.
So there's also an investment that I'm now making in them. They see, like, we have an open policy at Even where like they see our pitch deck, they see our financials, everyone sees how the business is doing at all times. And for me, it's all rooted in when you leave Even after we blow this out of the water, I want you to have the language so you can go build your thing. Because anyone that works at Even right now is interested in one day launching their own company, right? Like everyone who works at Even right now could be making so much more money working anywhere else.
Right.
Like everyone who's here believes in the mission, believes in the vision.
Entrepreneurs in their own right, essentially?
Oh, 100%. All of them.
How big is the staff?
It's 26 people.
Oh, it's a small team.
Right now, if you're a founder, especially a founder of color who doesn't have resources, doesn't have money, AI is your biggest opportunity because technology is no longer the moat. It's taste. And ultimately, where does taste come from? It comes from people that look like me and you. And I preach that so much because I meet so many incredible people who are people of color that don't even know about Replit. They don't know about Lovable. They don't know about these no-code AI agents where they can literally build products by just talking to it.